So what I'd like to talk about is this exchange here to open for a corner. Um, Talked a little bit about this before. The fact is, black cannot contain it, uh, cannot kill it. If white wants to run all the way to the neighboring corner, white can do so. Probably, oops, not advised because that's a pretty big wall, but this is a pretty big corner too. So, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't really be satisfied with third line territory, but it's not bad. It's not like it's second line territory. Um, so right, so of course white can go as far as they want, but how far does white have to go? Well, white can stop right here and play away, and white's gonna live. No, black just can't kill this group. At this point, I think white needs to play here. There's no killing this group. There's a Mia here. So 4 stones is enough to live. Um, on the other hand, like black can't really. It's hard for black to play away because like this turn looks pretty big. It's crunching his group, like really affecting the value of the wall. And it's also setting white up for some territory up here. Uh, so needless to say, like um, a 4/4 stone, just like in Go, is not really. That's not an enclosure. We need another stone there to make it work. So we're gonna look at some other enclosures, and let's say white is gonna play away. Um, so now we want what black is gonna play a second stone. We can look at like this one first. So we have a 4/4 and a 5/3. And these stones are connected because there's a Mii between these two spots. It also uh, protects against the 3/3 invasion. So black can block. And with in this group, white cannot live. White can try. He wants to make life. He can try to play here, but nope. Can try to play here, but nope. What? Yeah, black doesn't even have to follow up at this point. The group is just dead. Um, so you see these. This does protect against a 3/3 invasion. Let's play through a little further. So black is gonna block here. Now, of course, there are scenarios where, so for instance, like, mm, okay, if white plays here and then black kind of blocks here, this white lives, right? So black can't block. Black has to take out the vital point. White can try to run, but just running on the first line doesn't really work that well. There's one way that it could work, which is, I'm gonna adjust this stone here. Let's say it was a 3-3 stone. And then if white has a stone here, for instance, the play might have gone like this. Black takes a corner, white takes a corner, um, black encloses, white encloses. We've seen previously this is an enclosure. So this corner belongs to white. Now, at this point, let's say white plays away, black plays away. White invades. We're going to block this way. Now black has a bit of a conundrum because um, so white plays here, and now black has to choose between sealing the group off or killing the group off. Um, let's say black does choose to kill it. Oops. Does that kill? That one might kill too. Probably. Looks good. Looks like that kills. Now white can just, let's just, I'm just going to revert to something I know that kills. White can run and eventually connect. Not sure this is advised, but well, at least white didn't die. Not much territory, but and black has a pretty good wall here. But black lived. I mean, white lived. Right. So black might want to defend against that, as we've seen when people running on the first line and you're trying to catch up. They can be blocked on the third, second, or first line. So, for instance, this move is going to block that exact play. Let's play through. Black decides to kill the group. White tries to run. White doesn't realize, oh, now White's in a lot of trouble. Cannot get through. This group is dead. Just dead. And White is very unhappy. So, where was that? That was. So if white kind of sets up an escape here, black can foil it with a stone on the first, second, or third line, any intervening place. Okay, so I think this looks to me like a pretty good corner enclosure, the 4-4 and the 5-3. Um, I want to look at some others, like here's a 4-4 and a 6-4, which in some ways works the same. For like white invades. Wait, I totally messed that up somehow. Black's got a cover. White's gonna live, but not gonna live large. If white plays away. Can white actually play away? I don't think white can play away there. White lives in Gote here. Um, of course, so this is very similar to the one we looked at before. Big problem is white can cut this. This is just no good. separate these two stones, what is black going to do? You know, this stone here is kind of wasted. Black kind of has a corner, and white is starting to develop a pretty good area over here. Um, so this kind of cut is just really too much. Now, of course, this opening with a 4-4 and a 5-4 will also defend against the invasion, successfully killing the group. The problem with that is, you know, this looks really slow, and there's other potential invasions that we have to consider. Like, for example, I mean, white certainly could come in this far. Where's your corner? Corner's gone. Um, so obviously that it doesn't work very well. And there was one more that I'd like to look at. So we saw with the 3-3 that this shape right here actually encloses the corner. White cannot live. So we might look at that same shape from the 4-4 point. Um, or anything along the fifth line would eventually um, halt white's progress along this direction. But white's looking pretty good. I don't think white even needs to continue. Let's see. Bump, 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 bump. White does need to continue, don't they? Okay, Kiki Blago. What's interesting is the vertical one space jump is 100%. Yes, it's very interesting and it's different. And we're used to, like, on a square board, um, like, this is not a complete connection, but it's pretty solid, you know? White can try to, but it's not really happy. Now I have two cutting points and an opportunity to fix one. Whereas here, right, there's just, you just cut through. That's it. Um, it's quite different. But that's what I'd like to look at some point at connected shapes. For instance, let's make a, so I think these are connected. Can white separate these? It's interesting. Right, so that's connected. White cannot separate. But what about, like, well, let's put it in the center here. I'm pretty sure, yeah, see this one white can split. So too late. Black would love to have a stone here, but it's too late. You're already split. White can play there. White can play there. So the 5-4. So yeah. So again, whoops, somehow I lost my title here. So I was kind of looking at things based on, like, an opening with a very specific response. Like, black plays two stones and then white invades at the 4-4, the 3-3. I think next time going forward, I'd like to instead look at, um, all of white's options when black has a two stone enclosure for different kinds of enclosures. I think like the 3-3. Oh, let me get in this mode here. I think this is a very promising enclosure. Um, Also, like, uh, this is a very promising enclosure. And not just look at a 3-3 invasion, but what other options does white have? I think, I mean, this is probably a good invasion point, really good invasion point. Um, we'll look at that next time. And there's also one other thing, which is we didn't look at, like a 3-4, which is an interesting opening. For instance, like, I mean, this is probably too slow, but it does fully enclose the corner. This black group is dead. Um, and that's all I wanted to cover today. Maybe we can, like I said, next time I'm gonna look at like either I'm gonna look into the 3-4 or just like take one of these two stone enclosures and look at all of white's possibilities there.